Well, first of all, welcome to ANOKHI Uncensored. We are based out of Toronto, Canada, and we are so excited to see you in your comeback film, which I watched a couple of days ago, The Tenant. I just got to say one thing. You look flipping awesome in the film. And you
Right.
also, like your acting was just, it wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. It just, I really, really felt the meaning of what was happening with your character. So, have you been getting that from people? Like, share a little bit about how people are feeling about how you played the role before we dive into the film.
Well, if you watch the film, I'm sure as a woman, you have related to everything that this character Meera goes through in this film. And for me personally, I must say, being a woman, an independent, successful woman my age, because I'm not married, I'm judged.
Right.
I face that in my life. There are narratives made, stories made up about me. People assume what's going on in my life, why I've done whatever I've done. Um, no achievement matters. You're not married, that matters. Uh, so I'm this film in many ways highlights or rather throws light on a lot of very real issues that women face in the society we live in today, whether it's constant, judgment, patriarchy, lack of privacy, um, so much that we're subjected to unnecessarily. And sometimes it gets frustrating, but then you kind of learn to just live with it, become immune to it, and move on. You know, that's the way I've done things in my life.
Absolutely. And and I feel that this film is a testament to, society in general, not just women, but men as well, needing to step up and realize that everybody has a right to live their life according to the narrative that best suits them, right? So
Absolutely.
let's talk a little bit about the film. From your perspective, you've been deeply involved in obviously being a very central character. Shmita, can you share what the story essentially is about? Because there's a lot of twists and turns and a lot of characters that, fit within the central arc of what's happening with your story and what's happening with Bharat's story.
Yes. Well, the film is essentially about these two pivotal characters, Meera and Bharat. One is this adolescent boy. He's going through that phase of discovering a lot, uh, having his crushes, falling in love, and all of that. This really cute little phase of his. And with my character, there is a certain mystery surrounding this character. Nobody really knows where she's come from, what her story is. She literally enters the frame and into this lower middle class housing society in Mumbai. Um, she's almost like a culture shock. And the minute she walks in, lo and behold, come all of the judgments, all of the assumptions about where she's come from and what's going on in her life. And oh my God, she's single. That's, taboo. Uh, Unmarried. Oh my God, a bigger taboo. Um, she is somebody who comes from a very different world, is fighting her own battles within silently. And somewhere you see a beautiful graph in this character because she's going through whatever she's going through, but I'm so happy the director didn't want her to look like a victim in any way, with everything that she's going through in the film. And that for me was the most beautiful part. There is a certain strength in her silence, and she manages to come into her own. by the time it's the end of the film, as you know, the narrative naturally flows, um, you see her really come into her own and find that strength within and make a change in each and every one of you know their lives, in the people in the society. And there are these small little stories. Everybody is going through their own um, silent battles, stories, within. And there's a certain realization that happens towards the end of the film. And it's I think so beautifully put together. The story is narrated so beautifully. It's a very simple story, but you can relate to, and I'm pretty sure everybody out there watching this film, at least the South Asians watching this film, you will relate to some character or the other in this film. I'm sure you've come across some uncle or auntie, while growing up. uh, and this whole "log kya kahenge" line, I think, is something that most South Asians will relate to anywhere in the world.
Absolutely, Shamita. And I want to dive a little deeper into your role because there was a couple of themes that, while I was watching the film, that really spoke to me. So one of them was that you play the role of a character who has two personas as we, travel through the story: the public persona of Sonia and the private persona of Meera. This is what I was seeing. Can you share the significance of this as it relates to the overarching theme of the film, where what you see is often not the truth behind the scenes? Share your comment there.
Like I said, she's somebody who comes from a very different world. And for her to actually leave all of that and just want to be in silence and process what happened to, I don't want to reveal too much because I want people to watch the film.
Yes,
Um, but social media almost destroys her, uh, which makes her run away from her world and just want to go within and understand why. And in that why, try to find herself with more strength, you know
Mhm.
and that journey is beautifully shown.
Yes,
Social media sometimes can be so damaging. It can, I think, uh, create, or rather make you or break you, sometimes create a great reputation for you or just damage it. And unfortunately, it's actually unfortunate that these platforms are so wrongly used by people, especially the trolls out there. It's almost become a platform where people can actually come on and express their frustrations or express themselves, in this world when they can't in their own real world.
right.
So it's sad, but sometimes it can really damage you if you don't, if you're not a strong person. It can really create some serious damage you know
Absolutely. And if you don't have, strong, supportive people within your immediate ecosystem,
yes,
you don't know, you start to believe what people are saying about you, and that's the
it's
worst thing that you
definitely
can
for
do.
you. Yes.
Absolutely. So I also want to ask you, Shamita, the film explores, and you've touched upon this already, how difficult it is for women in Indian society still, with the constant judging by others that forces women to hide their true selves and their personal desires, often leading them to experience unfulfilled and unhappy lives, which, is so profoundly shown in the characters of the wives. I really felt that live
Yes.
in the building where, the story takes place. What are your thoughts about this pressure to conform, especially as it relates to women still? Because not all women are strong. Like, what could that message be from the film?
I must say there was a time when all that was said about me, or the narratives that were made, um, kind of mattered. It would affect me in some way, but I think I've reached a stage in my life where now I've come into my own, and I will be the person I need to be unapologetically so, and do what I need to do for myself.
Yes.
So none of this matters. You kind of have to understand, know when to balance things out for yourself, understand the difference between the real world and the world out there that
Mm.
actually is not your reality. You have to understand what you want to put out there, portray out there about yourself. For me, I've never created and or tried to create an image of me that's not me. You know what I mean? But a lot
Yes.
of people actually try to do that for themselves, and their world just comes, shatters when things don't things go south, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
People go into depression, people commit suicide. You read about all of this. It can do some serious damage. So I think you kind of need to. It's a very good platform as well when used correctly. Let me put it that.
Hmm. Absolutely. So let me ask you this: your character's relationship with the, young Bharat, um, it's through his kind of, eyes and his perspective that we experience, all the other characters. Can you explain what is being shown through their relationship, which, really does dominate the film? Can you share that perspective? Because it's very interesting.
Bharat is at that age where, I mean, he's feeling everything that any boy that age would feel. When he sees Meera for the first time, it starts with curiosity, which turns to a crush. Then he thinks it's love. But from that blossoms a beautiful friendship, you know? And he becomes he becomes more of a man than the rest of the men out there in that society doing the right
Yes.
thing.
Yes. I got
Yeah.
that.
So such boys or such men also exist. So everything is not all dark out there in this film. It's not just highlighting what's wrong out there. What's right out there as well. What is actually happening out there is also shown beautifully in this film. And I must say, Rudraksh portrayed this character so beautifully. He was this character.
Yes.
He was just being Bharat so innocently, so beautifully.
What do you feel was the kind of, friendship attraction for Meera with the character of Bharat? Because it's obvious what Bharat's was with Meera.
I think Bharat was the only one she believed, um, who didn't judge her, who didn't ask any questions before wanting to be her friend. And he just wanted to be her friend and just be there for her and just be protective, you know. Um, and although he may have made a mistake, I don't want to reveal too much, but he also realized his mistake and he did everything in his power to correct things for her.
Yes.
So, like I said, it was so pure and so innocent.
And she
So,
felt that, like she felt that about him. Yes.
absolutely,
I got
absolutely.
that.
So, yeah, I think uh, every small little character also in the film was just portrayed so beautifully
Hmm.
by
They all,
every
they
actor.
all, they all had a purpose, which was wonderful.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. So I want to ask you this, the director, Shushrat Jain, what was that like, that experience of working with him? Because, he's very specific in his vision of how he wants the story to unfold. Share a little bit, about the behind the scenes there.
He was. I must say it was such a pleasure to work with him. And for me, this was such a raw character to portray. Um, and it was such a delight because of his vision. It was such a delight to portray this character because he was so sure of what he wanted. He would let me do my thing, but then he would also ask me to do it his way. And his way always ended up being the right way. So he is definitely a director who knows what he wants. He knows how to extract it. And it was a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
Well,
I'll say.
well, he clearly did a great job because critics are calling this your most raw and confident performance. Like, how do you feel about that? I mean, do you agree? Do you feel good about, you know, your portrayal of Meera? Share that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, honestly, this film has taken a while to reach the international audience. This had a very small release in India. It's an indie film.
Yes.
And I would have liked for it to have had a better release here so more people could have watched it. Uh, it's unfortunate that it didn't, but it's finally out there now for people to watch. And I I hope that people take out the time and watch this film because it's a
Mhm.
very simple, sweet film. And at least you won't feel like you wasted 2 hours of your life. Sometimes when we watch films, we actually sit through it because of big star cast and, the hype around the film and all of that. And by the end of the film, you're like, what the hell did I watch? It's not one of those.
Yes.
At least you know that it's time well spent.
Absolutely.
So
You've touched upon something there, Shamita, that I'd like to, further explore because you are one of those actors who have been in the big commercial blockbuster Bollywood movies, and you've also done independent art house films as well. What's the difference for you in how you feel after playing a character in both those different genres of films?
I'll just say this much. This is one of the most satisfying characters I had the chance to portray. Because I was so, I think, fed up with the glamorous stuff that was coming my way. I wanted something raw. I wanted something real, honest.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
this is one of those, you know.
What conversations do you hope that Tenant sparks, especially among young people and women?
Well, I wish they would think twice before judging a woman out there. She has her own story and don't make your own assumptions about her. Um, I think after watching this film, if somebody just stops and thinks twice before judging another person, or thinks that okay, maybe I judged this person wrong, you know, I think it's a good takeaway. Film has done some good.
I just want to just ask one quick final question, and that is, why should people watch this film?
Watch this film because it kind of highlights issues that are very real today. Like I said, this film was made a few years back. It's still relevant today. Why? Because women are still facing the same problems. Nothing has changed. Yes, we're probably talking about them more now, but the mindset needs to change. It's the same mindset here. The same mindset is, I think South Asians would face the same mindset living abroad as well, you know?
We do.
Um, yeah, so that mindset needs to change.
Thank you so much. What an absolute pleasure to speak to you. More art house films. That's what we want from you. You are great. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Mummy, I can do it myself.
You will not be little boys anymore. You will be men.
देखने देना यार तू।
अकेली? शादीशुदा नहीं है क्या?
उसके बाल खुले थे और सब कुछ दिख रहा था, टॉप बॉटम।
If you give a girl a foot massage, she can't resist you. How long are you planning to stay?
You're a curious little cat, aren't you?
Were you famous?
Guess you could say that.
Tell me, what do you think about Meera here?
She's the most amazing person I have ever met.
मुझे पता है इसका टाइप, अटेंशन चाहिए उसे।
तू उसे नहीं जानता है।
आदमियों को तो तुम जानती हो।
Thank you for the advice.
अरे अंदर नहीं है, अंदर नहीं।
वो अपनी प्राइवेट लाइफ में कुछ भी करे, पर सोसाइटी के भी कुछ रूल्स होते हैं ना।
I know who you are, Sonia.
How many men have you slept with?
What's wrong with you?
निकालो साले को अभी बाहर, अभी निकालो।
ये मुझे सब पता है, मैंने सब देखा है, देखो।
But I love you.
ये देख।